might be squirming a little bit. I mean, it's strange the fact that I'm okay with him taking in these really bad people and killing them, making the world a better place. But the fact that his adoptive uh, sailor cursing for a sister who's now running the police department, uh, that's kind of disturbing in my opinion. I mean, I hope they really get rid of that fairly quickly. Not quickly, but by episode 6, please. Because, I mean, the fact that she could fall in love with him, that's their family. I mean, they're not blood related, but they're family.
Mm.
I mean, what are you looking forward to?
Only one show really, Sons of Anarchy season 5, and I've already addressed this on my channel, so that's the one I'm looking forward to. There's gonna be a lot of questions going in about just a lot of stuff.
Mm.
That I'm not gonna really say. I don't really want to say right now, just because I don't want to get people pissed about this or that bullshit. But just a lot of stuff coming in that's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to watch it. Besides from that, nothing really. There's nothing else I want to see. Anything with you, Saveanime? Any big fall shows? Hello?
Is he still on?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
No.
So
You were.
any
What question did you ask me?
any big fall shows you want to see?
What?
Any big fall shows like for the fall TV shows?
I'm sorry. It's just my dad's TV's really loud and I can't hear. All I have is my microphone on.
Mm.
What was that you said?
Hold on, I'll send you a message. Fall TV SH.
Oh, any shows in the fall? Oh, no, really nothing. Really, I don't really watch TV.
No. For me, I mean,
The internet's my entertainment unless I watch Netflix on my PS3.
yeah. I mean, to further elaborate on the new season of Dexter, which I forgot to bring up, is that LaGuerta, who's now captain in Miami, Florida, she apparently comes across the crime scene where the final the murder the wrap up kill at the end of season 6. She finds a blood slide, and apparently from season she sort of raises the question of, were there any blood slides from any prior serial killers, and that gets her to sort of bring up the Bay Harbor Butcher case again. That was from season 2, who was in fact Dexter Morgan, which was basically it was wrapped up because Dexter framed it on Dokes, who was already killed off by his insane love interest admirer. And one thing I got to ask and hope for with the resolution of this season is that I hope that what pisses me off 710 agrees with this, is that LaGuerta has got to die this season, because she has been a total. I mean, she's been tolerable, occasionally during each season, but near the end of the finale last season, she basically tells Deborah, "Hey, you do what I say when I say, or I'll replace you." And she's had it in for Deborah since day one, when Deborah was in a homicide.
Hmm.
So I'm saying, like, yeah, if anyone deserves to be killed off, it's LaGuerta. She's got to die this season. And I have a feeling she will, because she comes across Dexter's blood slide, and that's going to raise even more problems for him. So I got my fingers crossed.
Well, anyways, I guess it's gonna be an interesting year for fall for TV. Not really much me and Saveanime are interested in. I have sons. He says he has nothing, but it seems like you got a lot though, Manoftomorrow. You got a lot big lineup.
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess we'll go into our final topic of the night. GameStop going and selling vintage games, or supposedly.
So are we talking about actual cartridges
Yeah,
or
they're gonna
ported or
sell NES games, Super Nintendo games, Nintendo 64.
what do they
What's this?
mean?
What's
Are
the
they going to
topic
be
about cartridges?
GameStop is thinking about selling Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64 games again.
now?
Mm,
Are they actual cartridges for the old school titles, or will they be like ported for the current
Actually, I think that would be
next
a
gen?
good idea. Actually, hold on, that would be a good idea because that way people don't have to go out of their way to go to these special type of video game shops that do all video games. You ever heard of like that video game shop in North Hollywood?
Game
Ash?
Dude? You mean Game Dude?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hate those
I had a
fuckers.
lot of games that I couldn't sell at GameStop. Even PS2 games that were sold they couldn't take. I had to sell at Game Dude.
Yeah, but I hate those fuckers at Game Dude. They're full of crap.
Are
But
you saying that they're
they're
Well,
the only ones you could buy good games from that
oh,
are on old systems in California that I know of.
well, Saveanime, there was Game Exchange also. I don't know
I
if
will
you.
say yes, Game Dude, they are fucking douchebags there because number one, they don't like people that are loafing around not buying anything, or else they don't want your time. If you're not buying anything, they don't want anything to do with you, even if you're just looking around.
that sounds worse than GameStop.
Yeah, and not to mention they pull bullshit out of their ass. See, I brought in a fuckload of PlayStation 1 games one time to them, and I played them too to test them to make sure they were all working. Everything was working fine. There was no problems. Brought it in and told them, and they said, "Oh, we can't take some of these. We can't take most of your games. They're scratched." I'm like, "That's bullshit. I played them." Well, we can tell they're scratched. I'm like, "Okay, whatever. I'm not dealing with you fucking assholes and your bullshit."
Oh, here's another funny thing too. I went to go sell this one game, and they wouldn't take it because I didn't have the instruction manual with it.
Yeah, they're full of shit. That's the thing. They're completely full of shit when it comes to stuff like that.
GameStop doesn't even require the instruction manual. In fact, the game has already built-in instruction manuals in the game
Yeah.
to begin with.
To be honest, if they killed off Game Dude, I'd be happy. Just because also they're shipping it. Also, if you buy a console or anything from them, they charge way too much for shipping.
They charge more for PS2s than GameStop does nowadays.
Yeah. Get
If you
Game.
want to buy a PS2, you better pay up the butt for it.
Well, how much are you charging for that Game Dude now?
Last time I checked, they were only charging for brand new PS2s. Last time I checked, and they were like $100 for a new PS2.
God, I love that.
Uh,
Let's charge at the
a
butt because we can.
$100 for a PS2? That sounds cheap.
One that has never even been opened yet.
Yeah, I generally do not like them. They're just really poor. They have a lot of issues. They've also given me shit before in the past. I know that for a
And I
fact.
asked them, how much does it cost for a refurbished one? They're like, oh, we're all out of refurbished ones. In fact, there was actually a guy who talked to, in that, like that dick accent. Oh, we're all out of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And here's the
my
funny
only issue.
thing, not a lot of people like their games there because one time I went to the Salvation Army store and I found the game that was from Game Dupe in the thrift shop.
Huh.
How much was the thrift shop selling it for?
You know what the game was too? It was a really good game for the PS1. Know what it was called?
What?
Medieval.
Oh, how much were they selling it for?
They were wanting like $1 for it.
How much was Game Dude selling it for?
And I'd even buy it. You know why? Because the game wasn't even in the case, which it was probably stolen.
I would have bought it. Who gives a shit if it was stolen?
But the funny thing is, they were. No, I can tell that it was stolen because all the other game cases have the games in it.
Hmm.
Which is why I thought it was stolen because they don't put their games and stuff behind the counter. They put it in the back.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's just like Game Dude's so full of crap. But if GameStop started doing this, I'm not sure how they price everything. Alpha Megason actually brought this up beautifully in his argument about GameStop, that they could just jack up the price for all the old school games.
And I will tell you this: if you're looking to buy a cheap PS2 because PS like Sony screwed you on backwards capability, look at your local thrift stores. They usually will have a PS2 in stock if you look really hard.
Hmm. Well,
Trust
I'm
me,
looking on.
I've bought several PS2s from thrift shops after I bought my PS3.
Well, I'm actually looking up on Amazon.com right now for a PS2, and they got used PS2s in great condition for one as low as $30. And
I can find one on Craigslist for $20 still in the box.
oh, for real?
Yeah. People are desperate these days on Craigslist. You know how much I got my PS3 brand new in the box?
How
How
much?
much?
$180.
That's a good deal.
Wow.
And that's not even the backwards capability one. This was like the big fat model that wasn't backwards compatible.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think with this whole, if GameStop does sell a lot of used games, if they start selling the older games, this is gonna come. I think they may jack up the price.
I will say they are fair on prices when it comes to the brand new games because that's basically how much the game really is worth when they sell at the GameStop. Because that's how much the game virtually is worth. If you buy it by the bulk, it's much more. But if you count how much game cost each, that's essentially what the price was.
My only issue with GameStop is how they deal their processing, like with checks or something. Because I used to pay for it in whatever I bought in cash back in the day, and now I try to do everything with the actual checks. And earlier this month,
I'm gonna be
or
honest
not
with you
this
guys.
month,
It's not GameStop
yeah.
that's the problem. It's their employees that are the problem.
Because the last time I actually shopped at GameStop, back in August, at the near start of August, I wrote out a check to them, and they went through fine. Then in the middle of the month, I tried to write out another check to them, something far less, and it was declined. And so according to the Wall 200, he thinks that the employee at the GameStop was bullshitting me or dicking around because when it didn't go through, he said, "Well, maybe somebody got a hold of your account, and was writing checks out or something like maybe
Oh
you have
yeah,
identity
that's
theft."
weird. People usually do that to try to access your account. Here's the
Yeah.
funny thing too. One time I was staying at a motel with my dad when we were moving out here to Arizona. There was a guy calling multiple rooms saying, "Oh, there's a
Hmm.
problem with your credit card. You're gonna have to give me the credit card number so we can run it again." It turns out that there was nothing wrong with it. It was some guy calling room numbers trying to get credit card numbers.
Yeah. So what I did when I got home that day was I called up my bank, asked them, okay, what's my balance, and they said, okay, that's what your balance is. Okay, there's no suspicious activity, none. So a few days later, I went to GameStop again, and it was the store manager there, and I wrote out a check. It got declined the first time. He checked it to see if he put the information in correctly. He did, and it was still declined. So I was like, well, he was asking me this question like, do you have enough money in your account? I said, yeah. The last time I tried to write a check, there was more than enough in the account to cover for it. Then, the following week, when I tried it a second time, this is with the store manager, it was several days after my direct deposit went through. So even then, I still had plenty of money in my account. Still wouldn't do it, so I told him that. And I asked him, is there any process to override it, to call up like a bank that processes checks to approve it? He said no, he doesn't have a number for that. And he apologized for it and said okay. So I ended up going down to another retail store, found the product I was looking for, and paid for it with the check. Went through fine. So then the next day I called up the GameStop corporate office, spoke to somebody on there,